My dear students, today we will discuss about the topic the uses of logic with some part of the nature of logic. In the previous class we discussed about the nature of logic, and you have known something about the logic. What is logic? The definition of logic, the nature of logic. But today also we will discuss some part of the nature of logic. We all know that the word logic is derived from the Greek word logike, corresponding to the Greek noun logos, which means either thought or word as expression of thought. अखोइना logic एबो हाइसी logic की हाइबा Greek की adjective word अदगी लौथोरकपनी अदुगा logic की हाइबसी मसी गमैलिनबा मागी Greek की word noun form दि logos हाइबने. Logos की meaning दि thought नत्रगा word हाइबने. पर etymologically येंगाकांदा अदुना etymologically logic is the science of thought as expression language. Aduna logic sibu kay bu science of thought and khane. For the purposes of the general description, a very simpler word, reasoning, may substitute the word thought. Thought abu wahi sibu akoina akoigi generally yengkanda generally akoina masigi mawsi yengkanda akoina reasoning haiba wahi amakakna thought sigi mahut chilaga sinabasini hena kudong chai hena lawe. Reasoning is the khare hena simpler term amakakni, simpler word amakakni. Aduna reasoning, the word reasoning substitute the word thought, and logic is known as the science of reasoning. Aduna logic se kone karen khanargebu science of reasoning and khanare. Then what is reasoning then? Reasoning means passing from something known to something unknown. Reasoning hare kone khangaresi karigumba khangla leba karima kharadagi khangdra leba karima kharada power pass to chapadu boy kone reasoning and kawi. Something known constitutes data or materials of the reasoning, while something unknown is the conclusion at which we arrive by reasoning. Asumhaina akoina mamaidadi kari hana taragebu logic sigi magi asengba definition ji. The real definition of the logic is that logic is the science of reasoning. Sumaina logic si akoina science of reasoning haidana generally akoina masi mean tawre. In dealing with reasoning, logic deals with propositions. Akoina proposition na wahi si logic si deal tawk matamda reasoning ji akoina deal tawk kanda kedogebu logic si na proposition si deal tawe. Proposition ji yaudaba yaroi. Proposition je koina ain jo hana hai gre masi proposition je koina grammatically sentence edu mane yedana adu sentence tu ga hek chap chaba kana du makti natte koina sentence kudimak proposition oide proposition kudimak di sentence oide du sentence kudimak di proposition oide aduna koina proposition si in dealing with reasoning logic deals with propositions. Logic and propositions deal tawe. And the propositions in their turn may be analyzed into terms. Aduna amuk kadogi wa propositions si amuk kadwana terms amuk kaya thona muk thugai bi yare. Aduna terms ida ekoina predicate term, subject term sumaina thugai bi yare. Aduna maram orakanda because of this reason the doctrines of logic are usually expounded under three heads. These, the doctrine of terms, doctrine of propositions, and doctrine of reasoning. Asumay tawna ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯃꯈꯜ ꯑꯍꯨꯝ ꯊꯣꯛꯄ ꯃꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯍꯦꯗꯤꯡ ꯑꯍꯨꯝꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯃꯈꯥꯗ ꯂꯣꯖꯤꯛꯁꯤ ꯅꯩꯅꯔꯦ doctrine of terms ne doctrine of propositions ne doctrine of reasoning ne masigi heading ahum ji makhada logic si gi ekhoina logic se masi ekhoina nainare aduni ekhoina mamangge class ta ekhoina khara ne gi basaruk si sibau si inare up to here we have discussed in a previous class. Today we are going to discuss about the uses of logic. Ekhoina uses of logic ki matang na ekhoina sinine gani. Ahanbada let us see logic furnishes scientific knowledge of the principles of correct thinking. Logic na ekhoida kari pige bu scientific knowledge. Scientific knowledge. Scientific knowledge of what? The scientific knowledge of the principles of correct thinking. Correct thinking के principles की scientific knowledge इंदो logic में furnish तवे logic में भी logic furnishes scientific knowledge of the principles of correct thinking, by the observance of which truth is attained, errors can be detected, and the errors can be avoided. Aduna masigi nyom jinga akanda ikoina kido gebu truth la si ikoina attain to bungame errors khando pungami errors ikoina avoid to bungame masi karam kan ngami no kaina piri no logic na ikoida piba scientific knowledge into kari scientific knowledge no principles of correct thinking. No doubt, any intelligent man, without any special study of logic, say logic si thawoya ne nirubana taba, kana uba intelligent man amakakna, kado gebu, magi oiba sound common sense sinara kanda, mana karigumba magi thinking si magi chumna mana mai wakal si khanbiya. He may be able to reason correctly even though he did not study logic by using his common sense. My common sense sinara kana mana magi reason ji correctly mana khanbiya. No doubt, an intelligent man without any special study of logic, by the exercise of what is called sound common sense, may be able to reason correctly and said that particular arguments are erroneous. But only a study of the logic can help us. In explaining precisely why an erroneous argument is faulty. Aikoina aranba argument amka kaidoi kada defect tarino haina yamna precise oina aikoida explain tawna takpadi logic tu kanda aikoida mateng pamanga me logic sina. The study of the logic can help us. The study of the logic can help us in explaining precisely why an erroneous argument is faulty. This is the first uses of logic. Secondly, logic is the science of sciences. This is the second uses of the logic. Logic is the science of sciences. The different sciences deal with different departments of the world, and the logic has no concern with a special subject matter of these sciences. Logic has no concern. Logic has no concern with the subject matter of these sciences. But logic deals with the general laws of thought which must be observed in every science. Machine. Tungan ba science nga sina. Tungan science nga tungan ba departments mayam si makoy ni jay. Adubu logic na di madugi magi special subject matter sing duga maduga logic kadi mai na de logic na concern tau de logic na concern tau de kaino logic na deal tau de general laws of thought am khak logic na deal tau e karam general laws of thought no which must be observed in every science khudi mak na ngak le ga general laws of thought to madudi logic na deals tau e logic deals with the general laws of thought which must be observed in every science, and every science must conform to the general laws of correct thinking with which logic is concerned. This is the thing what we find from logic. Then thirdly, the chief value of the logic is that it is preeminently an intellectual discipline. Aikoina ahum subada sai chief value of the logic uses the chief value of the logic is preeminently an intellectual discipline. Maji intellectual discipline neba maruina mainly. Preeminently means mainly it is an intellectual discipline. Or it is also known as a mental gymnastics. Mental gymnastics are difficult and complex logical thought processes. Mental gymnastics means difficult and complex logical thought processes. Aduna aikoina ahum subada koina phangisi sai uses the logic uses the kari phangisi kana bu it is an intellectual discipline or a mental gymnastic haibasine. Aikoina logic si nanakanda logic na kari aikoida pige haibatamda. The study of the logic cultivates the power of abstract thinking. Power of abstract thinking is logic ne kuda cultivate tona ngame. The power of logic cultivates the study of the logic cultivates the power of abstract thinking. The study of the logic trains the mind. The study of the logic trains the reasoning power. The study of the logic develops the reasoning power. Aiko the reasoning power is developed tawalai. The can say aiko the reasoning si kadore train tawalai. Adumai tawakanda hena chumba marik chumba thinking process ang kaklahin ba ngami. Aduna yamna chumna ay wakal ki process si laak na mukha matamda logic na aikoida sound mating pange. The study of logic help us when we proceed a correct thinking process. Aikoi miyoi basina mu yengsi aikoi miyoi basi atopa laibi animal creation mayam si aikoi si tongana tai laib makoi mayam si tongana tare atopa animal creation mayam si aikoi khene karigino why khene si karigino aikoi the conscious intellect laiba aikoi the power of reasoning laiba sinene. We human being say man is distinguished from the lower animal creation. Man is above the lower animal creation. Why? Because it is because of the position of conscious intellect and because of the position of the power of reasoning. Due to the conscious intellect and the power of reasoning, we are distinguished, we are different from other animal worlds, other animal kingdom. Atop animal kingdom siga, atop animal world mayam siga koi mo khandre ise. Masida neba. Conscious intellect, the position of the conscious intellect and the position of the power of reasoning is the neba. Sina ekoi miyoi bada, ekoi miyoi bagi marakta miyoi atopa sa sing jiba panwa sing siya khandre ise. Masigi power of reasoning sine. Aduna kay tawrage bu logic pu study tawraga train taroni pa amana mana akhoi da tongan ba study gi department tongan ba department akhoi gi study gi department sing da mana top tongan ba advantage khara mang thara ga chang ngam study of logic sina logic sei tarakan say a man who has trained his mind to reason correctly by the study of the logic will reap the advantage in every department of the study to which he may devote himself. So my tawdana akhoi da tongan ba advantage amakha logic si study tawrakanda logic si naruba mi duna tongan ba advantage ang phange kay noibu because the man is trained with logic. The mind of the logic is trained with the study of the logic. Me dugi magi mind ji logic to study tawrakanda mago train tawre adu marakanda he has certain advantages mangona atop tung kay mo advantages khara phangmo ngamme. Now these are the uses of the logic and si bauba the equina logic ki equina negative saruksi nature of logic and uses of the logic ki matang ni negative saruksi equina si bauda equina ni kani. Now let us see the summary of the nature of logic and uses. The word logic is derived from the Greek adjective logiki, corresponding to the Greek noun logos, which means either thought or word as expression of thought. Hence, etymologically, logic is the science of thought as expressed in language. And for the purpose of the general description, logic is known as the science of reasoning. Now let us see what is reasoning then. Reasoning means passing from something known to something unknown, and in dealing with reasoning, logic deals with propositions, and the propositions in their turn may be analyzed into terms. This is why the doctrines of logic are usually expounded under three heads, viz. The doctrine of terms, doctrine of propositions, and the doctrine of reasoning. Now uses of the logic, let us see. Logic furnishes scientific knowledge of the principles of correct thinking by the observance of which truth is attained and errors can be detected and errors can be avoided. No doubt an intelligent man without any special study of logic by the exercise of what is called sound common sense may be able to reason correctly, but only a study of logic can help us in explaining precisely why an erroneous argument is faulty. Then secondly, logic is the science of sciences. The different sciences deal with different departments of the world, and the logic has no concern with the special subject matter of these sciences, but logic deals with the general laws of thought which must be observed in every science. Lastly, the last uses of logic. The chief value of the logic is that it is preeminently an intellectual discipline or a mental gymnastic. The study of the logic cultivates the power of abstract thinking, trains and develops the reasoning power. A man who has trained his mind to reason correctly by a study of the logic will reap the advantage in every department of the study. Now, we have finished here the summary of the nature of logic and its uses, and this is the end of our class for today.